In this presentation, we will be taking a look at the CVS on Jessie Jewell Parkway. We will be taking a look at how it pertains to the 4M frameworks, being what matters, medication, mentation, and mobility.
Mentation is the idea that all facilities that have a population of geriatric age should have resources to help them prevent, identify, treat, or manage dementia, depression, and delirium across settings of care. For our facility, we looked at the way CVS could help or inhibit this aspect of the 4Ms by looking at what they offered in the way of screenings for the aging individual. This facility had availability for screenings within the Minute Clinic in an advertised location within the pharmacy that allowed for the pharmacy personnel to assist with health and aging information. Some pros of our facility were that on the website they advertise assessments and screenings for various conditions including sleep and sleep apnea, diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol, COPD, sexually transmitted infections, HIV, diabetic retinopathy, and osteoporosis. Counseling is also available for mental health conditions as well as smoking. Some cons were that they did not have any pamphlets set out for older individuals to have access to. It was only listed online and you had to navigate different links to get there, which could be difficult to find. They also used excessive amounts of yellow and black tags that were visually distracting from the items that are being sold and make it hard to see anything on the aisle. This would also pose a problem for older individuals with visual changes such as yellowing of the lens or glaucoma. Some signage was black and white, which may be easier to read. However, they were printed in a small font size. The information around the pharmacy and words written on the private room were written in small red lettering, which was hard to see. It was also very distracting in the store because there were so many items and aisles all crammed in on top of each other. The screen within the Minute Clinic was set too high for a user of a wheelchair to use and wasn't adjustable. It also had a glare from the lights on it, which made it difficult to see. However, the payment access was low enough that anyone could use the kiosk to pay a bill, but they might not be able to make an appointment. The self-checkout centers at the front were the same and would be difficult to navigate in a wheelchair. However, they did have at least one cashier at the front in case someone did need to use a regular checkout line or was unable to use the self-checkout kiosks.
Mobility. This M relates to the ability of an older adult user having the assurance that they will be able to move safely every day in order to maintain function and do what matters most. This includes them being able to move around and interact safely with the facility, as well as the facility having items and services that will help them do so in their day-to-day life. The pros we saw at the CVS were that they offered wheelchairs, canes, walkers, braces, orthotics, and adaptive equipment, including shower chairs, shower handles, etc., all able to be purchased by the individual themselves. The Minute Clinic had a handicap accessible area that was large enough for wheelchairs and an assistant to maneuver through easily. The flooring was hardwood, which made it easy to move around, and they offered sharpened carts, which would allow for someone to have somewhere to rest as well as put their shopping items as they shopped. They did have handicap accessible spots with a wide ramp located in the parking lot. There were 3 handicap spots available, which is in accordance with the ADA in Georgia. The cons we saw at this facility were that handicap accessible spots themselves were 15 feet from the front door with a sharp turn that may be difficult to maneuver, especially in a wheelchair user. When you first enter the building, you're forced to go down one of the smaller aisles in order to get to the pharmacy or Minute Clinic due to the self-checkout lanes being at the front of the checkout aisle. There is also a large metal pole in the middle of the next aisle that you have to go through before you can access the pharmacy or the Minute Clinic that may not allow a wheelchair to be able to access through. Many of the aisles were small and crammed full of extra things on the floor or in the way of maneuvering down the aisles. Items were not clustered together in an accessible way, most specifically where diabetes items were located, which would make it difficult for a wheelchair user to access these items. For example, they made it very easy to access the computerized machines, but the actual testing strips themselves were up on the very top shelf, and this aisle was located 4 rows from the pharmacy window, so it would be difficult to navigate for help. They offered a restroom, but you would need to go all the way to the back of the facility to use it, and then you would find a sign on the door that said that you need a key from the clerk, that you would have to go back to the front in order to have access to the restroom, which is not easy for older adults to do.
If medication for an older age individual is necessary, this M states that it should be age-friendly medication that does not interfere with what matters to the older adult, the person's ability to mobilize for mobility, or affect their mentation across settings of care. Some pros in regards to our facility with medication are that this facility, they offered medication and lifestyle consultation, and they also had a separate room in the back with seating for privacy. They also offered a program to return and dispose of expired or unused medications safely as well. An individual could purchase tools for medicine maintenance such as pill containers, assistive devices for opening pill bottles, or electric medicine management devices. Accessibility is difficult for some, but almost all equipment was available, even sleep apnea machines and equipment. They also offered a 24/7 pharmacy with a drive-through, making it easy for people to pick up their medications at their convenience at any time of the day or night, or in the case of an emergency. Some cons in regards to our facility with medicine is that the pill return and disposal was not advertised very easily within the store. You had to be able to access information online to know about this program, or remember to know to ask someone that worked there. And also, much of the signage within the store was also hard to read, and it was very small writing as well.
We will end with what matters. This M relates to the ability of the facility to know and align care with each older adult's specific health outcome goals and care preferences, including but not limited to end-of-life care and across all other settings of care. Each adult should be seen as an individual and treated as such whenever an interaction is made with staff or personnel, and they should have access to all the same items as other adults, but should also have access to services and items that are pertinent to helping them maintain independence and quality of life at the stage that they are and future stages of aging. Some pros that we found with CVS are that with regards to independence, they offer durable medical equipment of all kinds to increase independence in older age. They sell various other items such as grocery items and cleaning equipment, which does make it easy for people to finish multiple errands at once. Sexual tools and protection are readily available, as well as STI screening for anyone who needs it. Toileting items are available, which allows older adults to maintain independence when using the restroom. Some cons that we found with CVS are that they do not offer any online shopping or curbside pickup. As previously mentioned, it is also hard to navigate and access the restroom at this store. This concludes our presentation on the 4 M's with regards to the CVS on Jesse Jewell Parkway.